I guess I should start by saying that I'm a good guy. A genuinely good guy. The kind of person you call at 2 a.m. when your car breaks down, and I'll be there without a single complaint. The kind of guy who will fix the leaky faucet in your apartment, and never ask you to pay for the parts. I've built my entire life around being the reliable one, the problem solver, the person everyone can lean on. And now, I'm sitting in this terrifyingly quiet apartment, surrounded by the ghosts of someone who decided all of that was worthless. My name is Mark, I'm 34, and my girlfriend, Chloe, just blew up my life. The funny thing is, everyone is acting like she's the hero of this story. You should be happy for her. They say, this is an amazing opportunity. They don't see what I see. They didn't pay the price I paid. I met Chloe 4 years ago. She was a beautiful hurricane of chaos. An artist, of course. Her hair always had a streak of paint in it. Her apartment was a disaster of half-finished canvases and overdue bills. But when she talked about her art, her eyes lit up in a way that made you believe she could change the world. She was brilliant. And she was a mess. She was working a dead-end cafe job to make ends meet, constantly late on rent, always stressed about how she was going to afford more supplies. And I fixed it. That's what I do. I moved her in with me. Focus on your art. I told her. I'll handle the boring stuff. And I did. I paid the bills. I made sure the fridge was always stocked. I turned our spare bedroom into the perfect little studio for her, with the kind of light she'd always dreamed of. I created a safe harbor so she could create without having to worry about the real world. And it worked. She flourished. She painted more, her work got better, more confident. She told me I saved her, that she never could have done it without me. We were happy. I loved taking care of her, and she seemed to love being taken care of. We had a perfect balance. I was the rock, and she was the kite that soared because of my stability. This, I thought, was how love worked. You find someone and you build a life. You fill in each other's gaps. I was invested in her talent, in our future. The problem started 3 months ago. Chloe got an email. She'd applied for an artist residency in another city months ago, one of a dozen she'd sent out and forgotten about. Except, this time she got in. 6 months. A sponsored studio and a small living stipend. It was a huge opportunity, the kind she always said would never happen. She showed me the email, bouncing on her feet and crying happy tears. And my first reaction wasn't joy. It was a cold knot of panic. 6 months? I asked, trying to keep my voice level. In another city? Mark, do you know what this means? She said, her eyes on fire. This is everything. In my head, I was just doing the math. 6 months of her rent here, not being paid. 6 months alone. The disruption. That's great, I said. But how would we make that work? Logistically. That's when the fire in her eyes dimmed, just a little. What do you mean? Well, I started, slipping into problem solver mode. That stipend isn't enough to cover everything. And where would you live? What about all your stuff? I'm just trying to be realistic. I'll figure it out, she said, her voice a little defensive. I'll get a roommate. I'll be frugal. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance, Mark. For the next few weeks, that's all we talked about. But we weren't really talking. I would bring up logistical hurdles, and she would brush them aside. I was acting like I was worried for her, but really, I was trying to show her it was impossible. That the safe, stable life I had built for her here was so much better than an uncertain gamble somewhere else. It finally came to a head. One night, I found her looking at apartment listings in that city. I can't believe you're actually serious about this, I said. She turned, her face weary. Why wouldn't I be? This is my dream. You know that. Our dream was this life, I said, gesturing around our apartment, her studio, everything I'd built. I gave you all of this so you wouldn't have to go chasing things like this. She stared at me for a long moment. You gave me this, so I wouldn't leave? No. So you could be secure. so we could be together. Mark, she said, her voice so soft it was sharp. I love you for what you've done. But do you want me here because you've made it too difficult to leave? That's dumb. It was so unfair. I've done everything for you, I said, and I could hear the desperation in my own voice. I paid off your student loans. I bought you that car when your old one died. I gave up my home office so you could have a studio. I did all of that so we could have a future. I was expecting tears. I was expecting her to realize. Instead, she straightened her spine. I know, Mark, she said, and I will be forever grateful. But I never asked you to buy me. I wanted a partner, not a sponsor. Sponsor. The word echoed in my head. It was so ugly, so wrong. If you walk out that door, I said, my voice ice cold, don't expect me to be here when you get back. It was a mistake. I knew it as soon as I said it. It was an ultimatum born of panic. I thought she would see how serious I was, that she would choose us. She looked at me, and for the first time, I didn't see love or gratitude. I saw pity. Then goodbye, Mark, she said. And she left. That was a month ago. A month of this empty hell. At first, I expected the frantic call. I made a mistake. Call. It never came. Instead, I see her posts. Pictures of her with other artists, standing in front of some brick wall with a coffee, looking tired but happy. Alive. She looks like the girl I met 4 years ago, before I saved her. Our friends are all on her side. This is so great for Chloe, they say. She deserves this. They don't get it. They don't understand the sacrifice. They don't understand the betrayal of watching someone you invested everything in just throw it all away. Last night she called. I just wanted to check in, she said, her voice distant and clear. I'm still waiting for an apology. I told her. A long silence. Mark, I have nothing to apologize for. I'm doing what I need to do for myself. And what about us? There isn't an us in that way anymore, she said gently. I can't go back to that. I can't be your project anymore. I have to be my own. I hung up. So here I am. The good guy. The man who gave everything and was left with nothing. Everyone looks at Chloe and sees a success story, a woman who followed her dreams. They don't see that she built that dream on my back, and then left me behind when she didn't need me anymore. She said she wanted a partner, not a sponsor. But what she doesn't understand is that sometimes, love is sponsorship. It's support. It's sacrifice. I did all the right things. I provided, I protected, I built. And my reward is this silence. She'll fail. Then she'll realize what she gave up. She'll realize how cold and hard the real world is when there's no one there to solve your problems. And when that happens, maybe I won't be here to pick up the phone. Maybe I'll have finally learned my lesson, that being the good guy just gets you left alone.